Okay, so in this session, I'll cover mapping, starting and growing your business. So you will learn really the ways that you can monetize your knowledge and skills, some business foundations, operations, really how I approach your USP, some of the systems that you can use, an overview of sales funnels, setting goals, and a case study. Okay, so my name is Katrina Young. I have been consulting for over 20 years. I started out, well, my degree is in marketing and advertising, but I worked in project management from '07. I hold a certificate in lecturing and teaching, and I am really passionate about helping people to monetize their knowledge and skills, creating passive and active systems to really help you with your digital acquisition. And that literally means to sell online and make clients online, making money ultimately with your knowledge and skills. I work with corporate brands, corporate companies, organizations, as well as small, medium-sized businesses and business owners. I'm all about empowering yourself, and here are just some of the companies that I've worked with and some of the brands that I've created. Now, what does it take to start, grow and scale your business? For me, it's about understanding your why. And ultimately, it's personal that you understand your lifestyle that you want. And for me, it was all about being flexible. It's really important that you align your mission and your vision. When trying to create a business that isn't aligned with where you want to go, it can be extremely painful. So it's really important that you understand your mission and, who do you want to be? Who do you want to serve? Now, this all starts at really defining and understanding your business idea. What is your USP? Now, many people at that beginning point, they're so wrapped up in the idea that two things happen that I've seen. One of those things is that they're actually creating an idea and not a fully fledged business, meaning that they haven't taken the time to understand their business model and understand the different levels that are required in a business in order to make that sustainable. They then do not understand the next sequential steps that it takes to make workshops, and it just ends up really bad. And so for me, it's about really understanding your product staircase and then moving on and understanding, how will you package those offers and those needs. From there, you want to define who your target customer is. It's so important to understand their needs, wants and pains. It may be a few steps from where you were, and it's really important then to have a look at their demographics. When you dig deeper into the demographics, it helps you with targeting them via your marketing systems. It helps you to look at and identify influencers to build authority. Then you can look at really profile building and making decisions around the needs and wants. Then you can look at the sources of information that you will need and that they need that you will create for them. This is one of the most important parts of the sales funnel. Partly why you're here, this is a funnel for myself in giving you that exchange of knowledge to help you to understand, to solve your needs and to qualify me, I guess. Another thing that's really important to understand their buyer journey. What touch points? Where do they need you? One of the biggest things that is overlooked is that most people go to social channels, ignoring Google. Google is the first touch point for many. I mean, for yourself, how many times have you used Google today, or or an anonymous website to understand or help you with a problem, i.e. Waitrose in London? So if you have a problem, you want to map that back to how will they find you from various channels, sources of information, and how will they choose you over your competitors? What is your unique edge to their frustrations? So growing your business, growing your business, it's all about scaling systems and audience. In my experience, these are the things that really help you to grow. You can have a great product, but if you don't have the audience and the systems in place, you will not reach them. So one of the ways that I've done this is by really mapping this and having a framework and understanding that building authority is important. So I have a colleague and he has a luxury brand, and the celebrities that wear his brand make him unique to others. So it's about understanding, how do you build authority? Is that through PR, creating, unique bespoke products? Is it public speaking? And what experience do you provide? What customer experience will they have from your experience? So are you qualified to help? Can you document that? Can you say, I am a lecturer because you've got a certificate in teaching? Can you say that you are, an expert in your field because you've won awards? You need to make sure that you can back that up with your, expertise. So how can you help others? What do you bring to the table with regards to your skills and knowledge? And building your portfolio will also help to demonstrate that and attract clients. And how can you become more visible? And visible doesn't mean, taking all the PR, but it means documenting that digital journey. So having online testimonials, guest blogging and posts and features, all of that helps. And if you do have testimonials, then you want to capture them. Now, I was taught my business model, or providing my business model, way too late, approaching burnout. And one of the biggest things for me is really understanding what your business model is. So how are you distributing? What's your pricing structure? What are your operational costs to operate, to produce your product? Now, this is really important to consider, because if your product costs a lot, then your margin markup for profit will be minus. So when I'm referring to a lot, it means if it's more than your potential profit markup. So you want to think of all of these things when creating, advertising and marketing your services. Now back to the customer journey, we really want to understand their touch point. So if we are here and they're thinking about their problem, where will they go? So maybe they go to YouTube and they will find a video on a particular topic. Well, you want to be there. And that's the most important part, is that when you match and map that customer journey, you understand the kind of content and products you want to create. So that moves on to building a community. There are different types of communities that you can build, and I've built an online community, but at the same time I've built a referral and expert community, meaning that I have experts who I can lean upon and bring them, forward to support people with objective. Now, how will you do that? Something that's been very important to me, and this is an example of a product staircase, this is a product staircase for community-led products for myself. So at the top of it may be education, so that may be paid and free. So you may be offering free workshops that may lead on to training, which is more personalized and one-to-one or one-to-many. You may then be offering workshops, which may be face-to-face, which take people through the knowledge and skills that help them to achieve a deeper problem, which means deeper impact, which means that you can potentially charge more. And for a more advanced strategy, when I'm working with clients to scale, we're looking at licensing and then looking at how someone who has a license can then create sub-business models from that and get recurring income from licensees. And then we're looking at people who are DIYing it. And you'll notice that as you're looking at the product staircase, and just bear with me, this is live. So unfortunately, I do have a bit of background noise. I won't edit that out. Unfortunately, we are recording, so I'll continue. Okay, thank you. And this is recorded during the lockdown period, and so, you know, I'm just showing that you can have a lifestyle business and you can teach and train from anywhere. Anyhow, so you can see that this is shown in a pyramid aspect, and it's showing you that, you know, as you work to the bottom of the funnel, or the funnel can be the other way, that you have more broad kind of content that may not be particularly targeted. So at the DIY level, you are not surveying people, you're not interviewing them, you're not questioning them. Pretty much they are exchanging or making a payment for your products. And then you might offer support, peer-to-peer support, which might be coaching programs, you know, workshops. So there's things that you can consider in your business model that help you to reach more people. And so as we work down into the actual funnel and we're looking at all the different elements, there is ADA, but we're going to look at today really how you can have awareness around your brand to get maximum digital online impacts. So how will you introduce your company to your potential customers? How will you acquire your potential customers? Where will they come from? Now, traffic is just the amount of people that hit your offers, your website, and you'll know it's very difficult when you actually start doing it. You know, sometimes you're getting one hit and you're like, my God, you know, how am I doing this? I remember when I first launched my Pinterest and I got 2 views, and that went up to 30,000 views, to 150,000, and it drops and it fluctuates. So how will you drive traffic? Will you write daily content? Will you do paid? Will you do organic? It's so important that you understand how you will acquire your leads. And one of the greatest ways to do that is to have a resource download page where people come and visit and use your website or your funnel as a hub. I got told that very later on in my career, and actually if you lead with that, you can be very successful right from the get-go, depending on your product or service, of course. Now, how will you activate that transformation for your potential client? How will you activate the product, them trying your service, and how will you activate them, you know, signing up for trials, products and sales, you know, downloads? How will that happen? So it's really important that you think about that. And then how will you retain them? How will you close them? And closing means just selling. And I don't like the term because it sounds pretty cold, but the point being, how will you exchange value with them for their transformation and retain them? So basically, you know, you want to make sure that you liquidate your client acquisition costs, having, you know, great customer experience, reducing your customer churn rate. And then how can you increase that revenue? How can you continuously give them, you know, value for that buyer cycle? So a great way to think about that at the beginning. It's a lot to think about, but then, you know, you can make people advocates for you. You can have referrals. I get a lot of referrals. In fact, it was quite naughty of me to teach funnels because for a large time I was my funnel. So then that brings me greatly on to tracking your KPIs. So one of the things that you want to make sure is that you understand your client personas, what outcomes they want at what stage. And for me, most people, you know, don't set themselves enough KPIs. For myself, certainly, I began to do that as I had a bigger focus on scaling. And for me, it's, you know, I have these, you know, deep work premises that I go by, that if I don't have, you know, exchange or value for the week, then, you know, I need to make sure that I offer sales calls. If I have a number of sales targets, then I won't engage and network. So it's important that you track your insights and your data and metrics. So you want to make sure that you build data-driven services and products. And how are you going to do that? One of the great ways of doing that is making sure that you offer, a way of tracking them. Far too many people are online marketing and don't even have their Google Analytics or Google Tags set up. So if you are doing that and you're paying for traffic, then you need to ensure that you understand your client acquisition cost and what factors can influence that to help to reduce that. And then how can you make sure that you're understanding the lifetime value of your customer, and then understand the difference between your profit and running costs. A great way of doing that is understanding your funnel and auditing your funnel. Now, you may not think that if you're online and you haven't set everything up just yet, that you have a funnel gap, that, I don't have a funnel made. You still may have a funnel gap because you don't have a funnel in place. All that take from one stage in their journey, from you being a complete stranger to you being someone that has now converted to being in the community, or you being a customer. So we want to understand, number one, what kind of funnels will we create? There's many types of funnels. There is a simple download a workbook or a resource or a guide or a taster session or a trial, to webinars, to an experience such as this. But that really allows people to get a good understanding of what you do, providing value. And I know in my customer journey that many people are overwhelmed by it. So what I do is I dip myself in to the content as needed and I come back. I look at my insights in the type of customers that I'm working with. So some of them are tech phobes, so I wouldn't put them in the deep end. I would continue to provide educational content and then make sure that once they're data driven, that I could provide more value for them. What makes you unique? Now, I feel that when you lead from that, you don't have to worry about your competitors. So in my experience, it might be having a diverse portfolio. It might be your place, product and price. It might be your service. But if that's the case, when you're creating your funnel, you want to think about making sure that you do this to position yourself. So you want to make sure that you are researching, having a brainstorm and map, making sure that you set goals, and then taking action with this sprint. This sprint is all about understanding your USP, what funnel you will provide your customer at a particular pain point. Now, this is how we do this. We offer mentoring, consulting support on business strategy, marketing, and consulting. How will you do this? Now, if you've got any questions about this sprint, please do not hesitate to contact me, and good luck. Take action. Now, this is another example of that, and this is 100 ways to monetize your skills. It's a free gift. It's a bot. It's automated. You're welcome to download this, and this is how you can keep in contact with me. On YouTube, we provide trainers. Please ensure that you subscribe and keep up to date with our trainings. You can reach me on any of the other channels, and we look forward to seeing you and hearing from you. Take care, and remember, you only get results when you take action.